everyone. I thought I would spend some time putting my thoughts and reflections together of my recent cruise on P&O Iona, which is the first time we've sailed on Iona, and I thought I would take the opportunity whilst things are really fresh in my mind to talk about what I enjoyed and what I didn't enjoy as much. But before I start, I just want to say just how absolutely exhausted I am since coming back. Given the fact that I've got back into a nice routine, I'm eating better, I'm not drinking more than I should do, I'm absolutely exhausted. And given the fact that I did pretty much on average about 20,000 steps a day last week, probably maybe drinking too much alcohol, eating a ridiculous amount of food, all the time, I seem to be sleeping worse this week than I did last week, so I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe it's because I've just come back to work and just the stress around coming back into normal routine, or whether it's because when you're kind of building up to a cruise and you're getting all excited, that when you come back you get a bit of the holiday blues and it's a bit flat. That said, I have got another cruise lined up. We are planning on going on Aurora. So we, interestingly, will be going from the biggest and the newest to the smallest and the oldest. So it'll be interesting to see how we compare the two. And this time I'm taking my children and boyfriends. So that'll be fun. So we all get to go together. So I'm back on a countdown again, which is really exciting. So at least I've got that to keep me going. Unfortunately though, we're not taking my youngest daughter, who's decided that she doesn't want to come because she thinks she's going to have seasickness. And even though we've assured her that even if you do, there's medication and actually it's really not a problem for most people, she's still not coming. So I'm a bit sad about that, but we'll arrange something else. Stay on the Iona. First time we'd ever been on the Iona, so it was a bit of an experience for us. We have previously sailed on Britannia and Ventura. I would say they're large, medium-sized ships, which we absolutely loved. So this was the first time that we went on Iona. We were a little bit cautious, I have to say, because we were really conscious of the fact that it is a huge ship, and it is massive, really, really massive. It holds, I think, around 5,000 passengers and quite a lot of staff as well on top of that. And that's bigger than some villages. So we thought, it's going to be a really busy ship. We thought we would really struggle to find somewhere to sit. We thought we'd probably experience lots of queues, but in reality, probably didn't experience any of that. Anyway, so where shall I start? So yes, as I said, the ship itself is huge, absolutely huge. It's not until you actually see it in reality that you really get the context of how big it is. When you see it on vlogs and in videos, it doesn't really give the magnitude of the ship. It really is quite massive, quite massive. It's like a floating city. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but it is pretty big. In terms of embarkation, I have to say, it was fantastic, absolutely amazing. It was like a well-oiled machine. We got there at 10 to 1 for a 1:30 embarkation, and we were pretty much on board by 1:15 and sitting in the atrium sipping a Prosecco. So we were really pleased with that. It went really, really well. So the next thing I was really looking forward to and really excited about is the pools. So I love a hot tub. I really like a hot tub, and I was really looking forward to Iona because I was aware of the fact that they had lots of them. I think they have about 18 altogether. So when I've been on Ventura and Britannia, I've always managed to get in a hot tub, but because they've got less of them and they're less available, I didn't use them as much as I'd like. So I was really excited to be able to get into a hot tub and be able to just float around and look at our surroundings and look at the cities from the comfort of a really nice hot tub. In reality, they were probably not as warm as I'd like them to be. As I said, I like my hot tubs really hot, almost like a bath, which is not for everyone. And, you know, obviously that's probably too hot, and you certainly don't want people getting out and fainting. But I like to be really comfortable and warm, and they were just slightly, I'd say, almost tepid. And there were times where I got into one of the pools and thought, oh gosh, immediately thinking about how uncomfortable it is, you know, having to get out. That said, there were lots of them and they were really beautiful, and there were, you know, there was no shortage of availability. So that was really good, but just make them a little bit hotter, I would say. It did warm up towards the end of the cruise, but I wasn't sure whether that was because the ambient temperature, that is actually the weather got better, made them feel warmer, or whether they just, you know, increased them a degree or two. I'm not sure. Anyway, that aside, the pools themselves are fantastic. There are, I think there were 3 infinity pools, and oh, they look great. And even this time of year, some of the other passengers took the most amazing photographs and some fantastic sunsets, and everybody was using the pool because they were heated, and the pools are okay and they were warm enough, because if you're swimming and you're active, that's, you know, probably the right temperature. So they were fine. So, you know, big thumbs up on the pools and the hot tubs, but just make them a little warmer. Okay, let's talk a little bit then about the food and the restaurants on board. So we did a couple of things. So we spent a lot of the time in the main dining restaurants, of which there are 4, I think. So they were great, absolutely great. Really, really happy with them. The service was fantastic. We tended to have breakfast in the main dining rooms more than anything, only because I think it's just so much less hectic than going to the buffet first thing in the morning, and it's just nice to be able to relax and chill out a bit. And the food was absolutely great, always delivered on time, really fresh, really hot. When we sat down, you know, the staff was so attentive, immediately gave you a coffee, and I loved it. So big thumbs up to the main dining restaurants. We also ate at the beach house. A beach house is a charged for restaurant, and I think we paid $9.50 before getting on board. But pretty much then that covers most of the things on the menu. There are a couple of things with an additional charge, but we didn't have any of those, so the $9.50 each covered us fine. I had a traditional, it was called a traditional macaroni cheese. It was nice, it was nice. Not as cheesy as I probably like it to be, but it was okay, it was fine. I did notice on the table next to us that somebody was just having the most enormous kind of fillet of beef on a skillet, and it was enormous, absolutely enormous. I don't exaggerate. I'm a vegetarian, but I still love meat, so I just choose not to eat meat. But I was vicariously enjoying that steak of meat as I was watching the guy eating it. It looked amazing, absolutely amazing. But the beach house, yeah, it was nice. It was nice. We all also ate in the Olive Grove. Again, that was no, it wasn't an additional charge actually. So that is part of your cruise. However, there are a couple of things on the menu with an additional charge, but a really small additional charge. Again, I don't think we had anything that resulted in a charge, so it was pretty much covered. I had a kind of macaroni, mushroom macaroni cheese in a black truffle sauce. It was absolutely beautiful, I have to say. it was, you know, really, really lovely. If there was a slight criticism, the only thing I would say, it was slightly on the small side, but that really isn't a problem when you're on a cruise, because you have food pretty much available 24 hours a day, and you could have ordered another portion if you wanted to. So that was definitely worth going to. So the Olive Grove, again, a big thumbs up. We also went to the Keys quite a bit. We were there pretty much every day in the Keys, and that was really, really popular with all of the passengers. So it's the style of it is a bit like street food, or a bit of a or like a food hall. So there were three main stations. One was your kind of traditional fare of, you know, fish and chips and mushy peas, and you would have like maybe a traditional Yorkshire pudding, roast dinner type thing. Then you would have more of your curry type noodle cuisine, you know, serving things like katsu curry. I had vegetarian noodles, sweet and sour noodles with corn. That was absolutely fantastic. The spicing was absolutely top notch. I love really hot spicy food, and they had that spicing really, really well. And then the other station then was more of your kind of KFC type burger place. That was really, really popular. There were queues there all of the time, and I have to say that that chicken seemed to bring out the caveman in lots of people. They were really, really tucking into that properly. So again, that was a real good, it's just another nice place to go, which isn't just the main dining room and the horizon, and is part of your charge. So I thought that was really, really good, and we enjoyed that. In terms of the app, the main dining room, we did. That is absolutely fine. The app is fine. It's easy to use, and it's no problem, and never had any problems queuing at all. However, I think we did get it wrong. I think it was probably our fault rather than the app. I don't think it's a design fault at all. But we would book on the app, and you know, it would just tell you when your table is ready, which is absolutely fine. But in the process of booking and having a notification to say your table's ready, as we would, you know, walk down to the restaurant, we would forget which one we'd booked, and the app doesn't say which restaurant, or we couldn't find it anyway. So we were heading maybe to the Pearl, and actually we started to second guess ourselves and think, actually, is it the Pearl or is it the Coral? Anyway, we would just turn up to anyone and explain the circumstances. They were probably a little bit annoyed, but didn't show it, and they were really great. They were able to, you know, fit us in anyway. So that was absolutely fine. And then regarding the Horizon Cafe restaurant, we didn't tend to use that as much as we thought we would, actually, because there were so many other really great restaurants around. We didn't too. We did tend to use the Horizon at the end of the night. Now, I would go there with the full intention of just having a Horlicks, nothing else. But every night I would go there and I would have chickpea curry, rice, roast potatoes, mashed potato, boiled potato, any type of potato, however it came, salad, bread, biscuits, maybe some cakes, and then I'd have my Horlicks. So yes, probably that's the reason why I'm not sleeping now, because yeah, that certainly helped sleep. Well, it certainly helped me sleep when I was on board. So in terms of the general look and feel of the ship, one thing I would say is I think it's absolutely beautiful. It has a real elegance to it. I know that some people have criticised it as being slightly bland and a bit beige. For me, I think it just had a real mature elegance about it. And what I really did like is the fact that when you moved around the ship, there were always ambient music playing, so it kind of felt a bit like a high-end spa. So for example, and our cabin was pretty much next to the Sky Dome, and the Sky Dome was really busy, and you'd have full on entertainment type music, and so it'd be really loud, but you'd move very quickly from that space into a corridor right outside our room, and immediately you went into really nice calming music. So I thought that really stood out to me, and it just created a different vibe and atmosphere as you moved around the ship, and I thought that was really impressive. I have done a separate vlog on our room, by the way, not a detailed room vlog, but I just wanted to show the proximity of our cabin to the Sky Dome, just to demonstrate the soundproofing, and how we found that, because we didn't find any noise coming from the Sky Dome at all. So again, a big thumbs up in terms of the theming and just creating that lovely atmosphere. And as I said, I think Iona has really done it well, and it's as I said, it's just got that really nice calming feel about it. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. If you did, it would be great if you could like, and even better if you could subscribe. Anyway, bye for now.